Lolor Robec Lolor Lolor Barb Letters Naturalist. I could really use a good meal. I'm feeling very dejected. She feels self-pity after being unable to practice a martial art for too long. She is dejected after a lack of decent meals for too long. She feels self-pity after being away from family for too long. She is dejected after being unable to help anybody for too long. She feels self-pity after being unable to fight for too long. Within the last season, she felt passionate remembering talking with a lover. She felt euphoric due to inebriation. She felt satisfied at work. She felt satisfied remembering improving herbalism. She was blissful after sleeping in a fantastic bedroom. She was blissful remembering sleeping in a fantastic bedroom. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt passionate talking with a lover. She felt satisfied remembering improving observation. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt euphoric due to inebriation. She felt gaiety while performing. She didn't feel anything after watching a performance. She was blissful remembering dining in a great dining room. She felt gaiety while performing. She was blissful remembering dining in a fantastic dining room. She didn't feel anything after watching a performance. She didn't feel anything after watching a performance. She felt gaiety while performing. She was uneasy dwelling upon wearing old clothing. She felt gaiety while performing. She was delighted after watching a performance. She didn't feel anything after watching a performance. She was embarrassed dwelling upon sleeping without a proper room. She was blissful dining in a great dining room. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt pleasure remembering her own fine bed. She was gloomy, dwelling upon being unable to advance the study of social behavior. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt satisfied upon improving singing. She didn't feel anything after watching a performance. She was delighted after watching a performance. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt bitter after getting into an argument. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt gaiety while performing. She felt satisfied at work. She was delighted remembering watching a performance. She felt euphoric due to inebriation. She felt pleasure near a fine seat. She felt satisfied at work. She felt pleasure after putting on an exceptional item. She felt satisfied upon improving herbalism. She felt self-pity after being unable to practice a craft for too long. She was blissful remembering dining in a very good dining room. She felt euphoric due to inebriation. She was dejected, dwelling upon being unable to help anybody for too long. She was embarrassed to be wearing old clothing. She was dejected, dwelling upon a lack of decent meals for too long. She is romantically involved with Ineth Staff Swelter. She is a casual worshipper of Zymesh. She is a citizen of the Letter of Allies. She is a member of the Creed of Burying. She is a member of the Belted Creation. She is a militia dwarf of the Belted Creation. She arrived at Mistambuel on the 15th of Granite in the year 250. She is 120 years old, born on the 2nd of Slate in the year 168. Her slightly rounded rust eyes have very large irises. She has high cheekbones. Her hair is clean shaven. Her extremely narrow upturned nose is quite long. Her raw umber skin is extremely wrinkled. Her lips are thick. Her hair is gray with flecks of dark taupe. She is absolutely inexhaustible, unbelievably strong, incredibly tough, very rarely sick, and agile. Lolor Robec Lolor likes alabaster, sterling silver, red zircon, coral, giant tapir parchment, the color rose, helms, figurines, giant skinks for their colorful tongues, the sound of the verses of rhyming, and the sight of the suitor of sisters. When possible, she prefers to consume penguin muck roots, blueberry wine, and olive oil. She absolutely detests mussels. She has an astounding feel for the position of her own body, a great feel for social relationships, very good focus, a way with words, a good spatial sense, willpower, and a good memory. But she has a shortage of patience and poor creativity. Like others in her culture, she holds craftsdwarfship to be of the highest ideals and celebrates talented artisans and their masterworks, has a great deal of respect for the law, greatly prizes loyalty, sees friendship as one of the finer things in life, believes that honesty is a high ideal, really respects those that take the time to master a skill, deeply respects those that work hard at their labors, respects fair dealing and fair play, values cooperation, finds merrymaking and partying worthwhile activities, values martial prowess, respects commerce, values knowledge, and finds nature somewhat disturbing. She personally sees family as one of the most important things in life, a strengthening after a new romance in 250. Believes that it would be a fine thing if all time were leisure time, a strengthening after a new romance in 264, views tranquility as one of the highest ideals due to a new romance in 278, sees those that attempt to maintain dignified and proper behavior as vain and offensive, less extreme after wearing old clothing in 283, and values artwork. She dreams of crafting a masterwork someday, and this dream was realized. She is gripped by a crippling shyness, a strengthening after wearing tattered clothing in 280. She is currently more shameless. She is truly fulfilled by assisting those in need. She often feels filled with joy after a new romance in 252. She finds the humor in most situations after wearing old clothing in 271. She is not driven and rarely feels the need to pursue even a modest success. She is very rarely moved by curiosity. She is often sad and dejected. She is very polite and observes appropriate rules of decorum when possible, though she is troubled by this natural tendency in herself, since she finds dignified society to be stifling and silly when properly considered. She is currently more rude. She seeks out exciting and adventurous situations after seeing a louse man's dead body in 259, and she is conflicted by this because she considers tranquility preferable to tumult conceptually. She can easily fall in love or develop positive sentiments. She tends to make a small mess with her own possessions. She often feels lustful. She has a noticeable lack of perseverance. She doesn't handle stress well after being out in the sunshine again in 268. She tends to assume the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass. She generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity. She is generally quite confident of her abilities when undertaking specific ventures. She is currently more confident. She occasionally overindulges. She generally acts impartially and is rarely moved to mercy. She is currently more fearless. She is currently less private. She is currently more thoughtless. She chews her cheek when she's angry. She needs alcohol to get through the working day. She likes working outdoors and grumbles only mildly at inclement weather. She is getting used to tragedy. Overall, she is unfocused by unmet needs. She is untroubled after spending time with people. She is unfettered after staying occupied. She is untroubled after doing something creative. She is untroubled after doing something exciting. She is unfocused after being unable to acquire something. She is unfettered after drinking. She is badly distracted after a lack of decent meals. She is badly distracted after being unable to fight. She is not distracted after a lack of trouble making. She is not distracted after being unable to argue. She is unfettered after being extravagant. She is badly distracted after being unable to help anybody. She is unfocused after a lack of abstract thinking. She is untroubled after making merry. She is untroubled after admiring art. She is unfocused after being unable to practice a craft. She is not distracted after not learning anything. She is badly distracted after being away from family. She is badly distracted after being away from friends. She is badly distracted after being unable to practice a martial art. She is unfettered after practicing a skill. A short, sturdy creature, fond of drink and industry.